The state of the world that we're living in is in direct correlation to the most intimate relationships. So if you have a dysfunctional relationship with yourself, you're most definitely going to have a dysfunctional relationship with somebody else. And if you have several surrounding communities that are operating from dysfunctional patterns, well, then you're going to have a dysfunctional society. The crisis that we're faced with today is an environmental crisis, it's an ecological crisis, political, economic, spiritual crisis that is all-encompassing. The root is the same.
We live in the age of disconnect right now. Disconnection from food, from each other, from our families, from ourselves. But we had to feel that in order to know what connection feels like.
I think we get really overwhelmed with what's going on. It's very depressing. Because it's so overwhelming, we feel like we're at a loss. I had to do something. I did something. And that was the first step I took in responding to my heart. And I listened to my heart. And the moment I listened to my heart was the moment I realized, like, whoa, that feels good, you know? Just a couple years ago, I was living in Toronto, Ontario, and I was living a city life. It was the rat race, the grind, the 9 to 5, working this job that I wasn't completely passionate about. Didn't have time to pursue my own inner passions, things that I really love doing, and I didn't have space to be still. There was always something to do, somewhere to be. It was a very busy, distracting life that I was living. It was very hollow and shallow on some level. I felt a longing to be doing something more meaningful, something that fed my soul and my spirit.
Really just lived a typical suburban upbringing. Planned to live out the American dream, go to college, graduate, make a bunch of money, buy a house, get married, have kids. And I went to the University of Kansas to get a degree in business. I really saw the value of the dollar sign. I was not satisfied with the education that I was receiving. It just didn't feel right. So I dropped out of school with the idea that, okay, if I just do what I love, then at least I'll be happy.
A real community are people who have come together for a common goal, for a common mission. So here, the common goal of Pickards Mountain Eco-Institute is to educate a younger generation.
Dave and I are part of the current Odyssey Fellowship program that is offered here. We're part of the fall session. It's a 10-week program for young adults. Here we live and work together in community.
To better ourselves, everybody's working towards that goal. The big surprise was learning so much about ourselves and what was happening inside our own environment. I found everything that I was looking for and way, way, way more. I thought I had it figured out kind of before coming here, that I was just going to learn a bit about regenerative agriculture and permaculture and whatnot. The real reason I came here is to do the real inner work on our body's environment, digging down into ourselves. It's not just about sharing food with one another, it's about this bigger purpose, really.
In my journey, I've really felt called to return to the land and rebuild a relationship with the land and recognize the severed relationship that I have and work my way back to myself. So the only thing I can do is wake up to who I am, my fullest self, and pay attention to my thoughts, pay attention to my behavior, pay attention to the way I walk in this world and the impact it has. And I think the power is in my immediate relationships with myself, with the land, with my friends and family, and that's where the real work happens.
Sink into it, yeah. Know what it feels like to be disconnected. And then open your heart up to connections with your friends and your family. And when you feel it, just follow that and trust in it. Yeah, trust your heart. It'll tell you right where connection is.